Well, howdy, roofers, and welcome to Roofer Growth Hacks, the podcast that's dedicated to highlighting those in the roofing industry, learning how they overcame their growth challenges with creative growth hacks and connecting them with others in the roofing industry. I'm your host, Chris Hunter, founder and chief marketing officer of roofingsites.com. I'm also the author of the Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Roofers. Got a little story for you, roofers. Tom Reber with the Contractor Fight helps contractors fix their contracting company to get more profitable so they stop stealing from their families. In this episode, Tom drops some absolute fire on how to fix your sales and start making more sales today. So listen up as Tom shares some awesome growth hacks. Well, howdy, roofers, and thank you so much for joining us, Tom. I'm super excited about this because I've been a fan of yours for a while, looking at YouTube videos, listen to your podcasts, all that kind of stuff. So I think that's really cool that you agreed to come on to our small podcast here and help the roofers out.
It's my pleasure, Chris. It's awesome to be here. I appreciate you having me.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your entrepreneurial journey? Where did you start? What are you doing now? All of that. Just give us the whole, lowdown there. Yeah,
will do. So, I grew up outside of Chicago in Wheaton, Illinois, and in a extremely blue collar family. And, one of those families that we literally lived on the other side of the tracks from all my friends.
Yeah.
And, they all had white collar parents going on vacations all the time, making tons of money. And, my dad maybe made 40 grand a year tops when I was growing up. I'm 54, so it was a while ago. And, he was always tired, dirty, and broke. And so I did everything I could to not go into the trades. I think originally, I worked for my uncle growing up in his painting company, and I built decks, and I did things like as a kid. And then I got out of the Marine Corps, and of course I start working for my uncle again, running a paint crew. So I just couldn't get away from the trades. And a lot of people don't know this. I ended up spending almost 10 years in ministry. I was a full-time, I was full-time on staff with a church up in Madison, Wisconsin. And then I didn't start my first business. In fact, I never even thought about it one time in my life about starting a business. Like I thought it was for smart people and for people that weren't like me and whatever that means, right? But I was selling. I moved back to the Chicago area, got out of the ministry, and I think I was around 32 years old. And I'm selling nails and tools, driving around to job sites and pallets and nails to framers and roofers and you name it, and it was, had a lot of wood chucked at me from the top of these homes they were working on, telling me to get the hell off their job site and stuff. So I had a fun time with that. I'd pick it up and throw it back at them, that sort of stuff. And then I'd sell them a pallet of nails. I'm driving around one day, and this had to be like 2001, 2002. It was just exploding. This is obviously pre-Great Recession and stuff. And I had spent time in the painting trade. I'm just driving around and I'm like, maybe I should start a business. It was like this. And then, I was hanging with some friends, and one of the guys said he remodeling his house and needs a painter, and I think that was my second job. My first job was the guy that I worked for selling nails. He needed his deck refinished. So he actually let me start my business while I worked for him. I made like $1,600 in like a day and a half, call it a day and a half. Right. And I'm like, I'm going to be rich, man. This is amazing. And so long story short, fast forward, I'm in business. I end up going full time in it, got my ass handed me for the first couple years. Didn't know what I was doing. The biggest job I sold my first year was a $28,000 job. And I thought I was on top of the world, man. I'm like, this is it. And I had no idea how to do business, apparently, or how to sell. That job took over 14 months to do. There was a guy who was GCing his own house. It was a total shit show. It cost me $45,000 to do the $28,000 job. That was my MBA. Because in my world, we're a 50% company, right? Gross profit. So if it cost me 45, it should have been at least 90 grand to 100 or more is what I should have charged. And I didn't. I lost my tail, but got one heck of an education. You're paying tuition no matter what, right? Like you can hire coaches like us or whatever and pay the tuition, or you could go pay tuition and get your butt kicked for a few years. So fast forward, learned some lessons, ended up couple of years later, growing another company, started another company with a partner, and we grew that pretty quickly into doing 300 to 400 projects a year. We were kicking butt. And then I sold my half of it in 2012. I just felt there was something different that I wanted. And my family, we were considering a move out of state. There was just a lot of things going on, different seasons of life. And so sold the half of it and didn't know what I was going to do. I was hanging out. Somebody asked me to come speak at a business event in town, and that kind of lit the pilot light for what I'm doing now in the Contractor Fight, where, we speak and do workshops, and we have coaching and, all of our content and education, and we're just trying to bring, help the average contractor stop stealing from their family. We work our asses off for the people that we love the most, but we unintentionally steal time, money, and memories from them because we don't have our priorities straight, or we don't know how to run the business. We don't know how to sell. We don't price according to our worth, and all these different things. And so we've been doing that for, number of years. And, we've got 300 plus companies in our program and at any given time, and just loving up on people, man. It's truly what it is. It's just at this point in life, I'm about, how do we continue to add just a ton of value to people so they don't go through the pain that a lot of, that I went through and a lot of other people gone through. And yeah, we're blessed, man. My wife and I live in Colorado Springs, and, we got 5 kids, and that's a quick version that probably took too long. So there you go.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. No. So, and I love where you say, stop stealing from your family. I mean, and by the way, that's not just contractors. That's every right. single business owner out there. You've got to figure that out and how to stop doing that.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what you're doing now, right? And how you're helping contractors and who's your ideal client, someone that you can really, really help.
Yeah. So here's what I found is that if you're in business, you have dissatisfaction. You're always going to have some dissatisfaction if you're paying attention. If you're not paying attention, you're a zombie. Dissatisfaction usually comes with one or two people that we work with. One is it's the man or woman who's broke, they're busy, corner on this thing, they're tired of living check to check, they're tired of getting knocked around in the sales process. I need you to itemize this 63 different ways so I can compare it and blah, 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 and all that other garbage. And they haven't figured out how to market their business. They're just on this hamster wheel, right? They're just over broke all the time. Their debt might be increasing. So that's the type of person, number one. Number two is the one who's already winning. They've already proven that they can run a business, but they know there's more. They're not satisfied with where they're at. We'll have people come to us to do $5-10 million a year, and they're like, we're mediocre. We need to be better. So the common denominator between either one of these people is not the size of their business, not their trade, nothing. It's how their feet hit the floor each day and going, I want to just put mediocrity to death. I'm hungry. I'm willing to do what it takes to get to whatever that next level of success is. They embrace discomfort and they refuse to be a victim. Those are the types of people that do really well with the Contractor Fight.
Yeah. People who are coachable, right?
Yeah.
People that can, take ideas, run with them, and actually do the work, right?
Yeah, and being open to that there's a different way. I mean, you've been in this game a while. Like, it's just I think one of the worst things ever that a contractor can ever ask is a question they could ask is, what's the going rate for a roof?
Yeah.
I don't care about the going rate because 90% of contractors have zero idea what their numbers are. Most don't make any money. Most make less than $100,000 a year in their pocket, and their debt is growing. So why would I give a crap about the going rate? We talk about all the time, mind your business, right? Stay in, yes, you learn from other people. I get that. But if I started a painting company again tomorrow, I don't care what anyone else is charging.
Yeah.
I'm going to build my brand. I'm going to add a ton of value. I'm going to reverse engineer my money goals and my time goals and all those things. And that's going to be baked into how I price and run the company, not the other way around, where you lick a finger and pick the price.
Right. Because then you're competing on price, right? If you're doing what everyone else is doing, and that's not where we want to be, right? So you mentioned, several times, and I've seen it through all your videos and stuff like that, where you talk it, where you have to be at a gross, or you want your contractors to be at a gross profit of 50%. Can you talk into that a little bit?
Yeah. No, this is a starting point. Okay. And what I mean by that is most people that come to us, they're not making money. They're not making what they want to make. Even, I've had people come to me. There was a guy joining a program. He had a $4 million business. He was paying himself like 60 grand a year.
Wow.
Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. Like it's, and he was beating his chest that he had all these trucks on the road and he had a $4 million business, but I don't know, he should be making that a month. Okay. So 50% is our fastest way just to get somebody making money immediately. And it's funny, man. It's people bring it up all the time though, in the comments and social media or emails we get or whatever, and YouTube and stuff. It'll be like, hey, Tom, your 50% rule, like I invented it. I didn't invent 50% gross profit. We just said, like, if it costs you $1, charge $2 minimum. Yeah. Okay. I mean, shit, what's this stupid pair of readers I bought cost, right? And what profit margins on that, or a pair of shoes or other things in the world. And we're talking home improvement stuff here. We're talking things like a roof actually protects the family. And you're going to tell me that you can't get more margin? That's bullshit. So it's a starting point. What I mean by that is, man, I need to make some money quick. All right. Cost you $1 in the field, whatever cost of goods sold, charge at least $2, start there. And then as you get to know your numbers and stuff, you will come to find that you might just go, no, we're a 50% company no matter what. And this is just how it rolls. And this is what we need based on our goals. And that's cool. Way back in the day in one of my companies, we found that our sweet spot, because of volume, our overhead was lower, number of leads, number of crews, all these different things. We could sell and produce at a 42% all day and make a killing. Okay. So, but that was after we knew our numbers. And we really understood the cost not even the cost of the crew to cinema. What's it cost you a day in overhead to run your business? I mean, if I just take I'll just idiot proof it here for the Marines in the audience, my fellow crayon eaters. If your overhead's 25 grand a month, meaning your salary, you have some marketing, shop, truck payments, all that other stuff. I'm not even talking production, you guys that are listening. And you want to make another $10,000 a month in net profit. When all is said and done, that's 35 grand a month. If you got 22 working days a month, that's $1,600 a day that it costs you to run the business without even doing anything in the field. Mm-hmm. That's what people don't understand. But once you start understanding these things, what your time is worth, how many production days there are, this is a roofing show, right? So I'm like, I drive around now Colorado Springs, which is prime roofing country with all the hail damage we get here and stuff. Right. There's somebody knocking on my door every 7 minutes around here. But that's why you see the roofers. What I respect about the roofing guys that you don't see with a lot of others is they will be out there to finish that roof today. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because they know every production day matters. The good companies do. So that's the 50%. If it costs you $1, charge at least $2. That's the fastest way out of the financial shit show you're in, the financial gutter. And then over time, I've got people doing 6-7 million a year and hardscapes and stuff, doing it at a 55-60% gross profit because they've built their brand. They invest in the brand, the community, and it's not about the price. It's about, man, we want to hire this company. Yeah. I mean, and that's important, right? We're all aware that that's important, but man, I talk with roofers every single day. And the vast majority of them are doing no marketing, zero. Yeah. And why do you think that? Why do you think that is? Why do you think they don't market? I think that they like knocking on doors, right? For the most part, they must like it because they keep doing it, right? It works. I get it. And I always tell them, hey, if it works, keep doing that. But we're going to add on Google because Google has replaced the yellow pages, by the way, a long time ago. Yeah. So and that $1,000 machine sitting in your pocket, that iPhone, that Android has completely changed that, right? So, totally. Yeah. And consumer behavior has completely changed. So, all right. So shifting gears a little bit, all right, let's think about new roofers, right? And someone coming into the industry, brand spanking new, they're thinking about opening up a roofing company. What advice would you give them? Well, you kind of just teed it up. I mean, I think the biggest mistake contractors make as a whole is they come out of the gate when they print their little business card off that their cousin designed for them that looks like shit. Because I did that, right? I'm just giving you guys a hard time. But, you hang your shingle on the little storefront of your business and you look down one side of the street. You don't see anyone coming. You look down the other side of the street. Nobody's coming. You're a waiter. You're waiting. 90% of companies, contractors that start any sort of a business, they don't hit the ground running on the attack of going, how am I going to get the phone to ring? How am I going to get people to know who I am? Because you can't sell something or produce it if you don't have a lead. Everything is leads. Now, you got to know what to do with the leads when you get them. I get that. But when I first started, and this is what I see, people usually start a business like I did, where, you have, my boss gave me my first job, and then a friend gave me the second job, and then that neighbor hired me. Well, once that first 4 or 5 months of work, I burned through that when I thought I was going to be a millionaire in 6 months, right? I burned through that work, and then I had nothing.
Yeah.
Because I just thought it was always going to be that way. So I think it's about being on the attack. You said some of these guys don't do any marketing stuff, but what I also see is those that are doing some marketing, they're like baby birds waiting for the Google gods to hand them a lead, instead of doing something like door knocking, joining a networking group, posting content, going live from a rooftop and showing people what happens up there.
Yeah.
All these things to just feed into the fact that you are the roofing expert.
Right.
Like that, hands down. Don't be a waiter. That's the number one bit of advice I can give people. Number two is don't neglect knowing your numbers. And the third pillar would be you have to know how to sell, right? In ways that are different than anyone else is selling. And that's through really what we call connecting with their motive and their real reason for buying. So somebody doesn't I'll tell you, we had our roof redone probably 3 years ago. I did not want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't excited to do it. It's one of those things that you're not excited to do, right? It's like your toilet's clogged. You're not excited to call the plumber.
Right.
Okay. This isn't like you're building a backyard getaway for $500,000, that you can enjoy. That's a pleasure item. This is a pain item. And you will sell more if you tap into the pain, if you tap into not just things that happen up on the roof, but the experience. Like, hey, what's the worst thing that can happen here if you hire a roofer, or when you hire a roofer, whoever you pick? What's the worst thing that can happen? Well, I don't want nails all over the yard. I mean, it could be something that simple. They don't care about the roof. They care. Well, tell me more about the nail, because most guys will pounce on that. Well, we clean up and we blah, blah. That's barfing on them. In your sales process, you need to peel things back. Peel, don't pounce. So, hey, you mentioned the nails. What's the story behind the nails? Well, my grandkids come over every Saturday, and they're running around barefoot in the yard. And the last thing I want is little Johnny getting a nail in his. That could literally be the thing that swings it in your favor, being 30, 40, 50% higher than everybody else, is that you understand the thing that's actually most important to them.
So let's talk about sales a little bit, because I see in the roofing industry specifically, just because we call every single day, right? I have people that call roofing companies every single day, people that have signed up for our services, or signed up for one thing or another. We call them and they're not picking up the phone.
Yeah.
Or even worse, their voicemail is full.
Yeah. Well, you're not a roofer. You're a business owner. I mean, it's an identity shift. You have to take your, I understand, you love the craft. That's your comfort zone, right? As a painter, that was my comfort zone. I'm comfortable on a job site. I'm comfortable talking shop and technical bullshit. But unless you really make the shift to being a true business owner, you're going to struggle. And that means having somebody answer the phones. It means knowing what your numbers are. It means, delivering a great experience and marketing. There's all the things that we've talked about. So that's number one. Like, I'm a consumer too, right? I spend money on things. I'll go to Google. If there's a trade that I don't know, like Mike, before this call, Mike, my sprinkler guy, called me and I had to take the call because he's coming today, right? I needed to know what time. All right. I know Mike. He's in my phone. I call him, Mike, I text him. But if it's something I don't know, I will go to Google and I do two things. I will immediately look at the number of reviews. I just go, all right, he's got 350 reviews. Okay. And they're like 4.8, 4.9. I'm good.
Right.
All right. Number two, and this is just probably me being psycho, I go to social media and I look for them. If they're up to date on social media, then I have a pretty good feeling that they have a clue of how to be relevant, and you know what I'm saying? And just kind of with the times, and it's going to, and when I've done that, it's always been a better experience. And then the third thing I do is I hit call.
Yeah.
And if they don't answer and it goes to voicemail, Chris, what do I not do?
You're not calling them back. You're moving on.
I don't even leave a voicemail.
Yeah.
Because I got shit to do, man. Yep. I don't need a to-do list because I've looked at those two other things, and I'm not like to get a 3-bid guy or any of that crap. I'm like, whatever. So if you answer your phone, unless you come out disrespectful to my wife or whatever, okay, it's truly at that point your job to lose. And I've done it where I'm like, hey, I want to hire you. This is the other thing that pisses me off. It pisses me off because our sales process is rooted in not running around giving free estimates all day. Yeah. And so I just want to get you scheduled. Well, I got to come out and I got to look at it and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'll tell you what, I'm going to send you a picture and then I'm going to do a little video for you.
Yeah.
Get me within a couple grand either way and we're good. Let's get it scheduled and you could come out. They won't do it.
Yeah.
They won't. I'm like making it easy for you to sell the job and I want to give you money and you're making it hard for me to give you money because you're like the old school. Like I come from the painting industry and I give my painter friends shit all the time. I'm like, you guys think you have to go out there and rub your nipples on a wall to give a price. I'm like, no, take a damn picture of the room.
Yeah.
Text it to me. Right. And I'll be like, hey, Chris, listen, I got a couple different options we can approach this depending on number of colors and stuff, but we could go all out. We could skim coat everything, super high grade primer, highest grade paint on the market on every surface in this room, ceiling, walls, trim, doors, windows, baseboards, closet, everything. You're probably looking at, 3,500, maybe down to $3,000 on the top end. Or we could come out, run a couple coats of high quality paint on the walls, and we're in and out in a day. And you're looking at, somewhere between $1,000 and $1,200. Which of those conversations should we have?
Oh yeah.
That's how you sell before you get to the job. In fact, I spoke several years ago at a roofing gurus event, and it was probably pretty awkward for him if he was paying attention because he got up on the stage to open the show. There's 500 people or so in the room. Like the day before, I got there the day before, I was going to do one talk on a different topic, which I still did. But he goes, hey, I want you to be the first speaker and I want you to talk about sales. It was like the day I had less than 24 hours notice. I'm like, all right. And it was just a 25 minute little quick thing to kick this thing off. He gets up, does about a half-hour intro, him and someone else on his team. They're talking about the only thing that matters is writing proposals. Proposals are no good in your computer. They got to be on kitchen tables. Like this was the whole thing. The more proposals you write, it's a numbers game, blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing. I get up, Chris, I swear I walk on the stage and I go, well, this is awkward. And I hit the first slide and literally on my first slide, it says, we're not in the proposal writing business. And the crowd is like, oh my God, and I went on to talk about, guys, you don't change your life by writing proposals.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't change your wealth situation by writing proposals. You sell them by collecting deposit checks. So you're talking about earlier, like guys not running a business good, not marketing, not whatever. It's because they're spending too much damn time in the sales process. They're going out and being everyone's little bitch running around town for days. Yeah. And then they got a follow-up list a mile long. And hey, and you see all the stupid, I hate these posts from other coaches and people to do what we do. Every Friday, they're like, it's follow-up Friday. I'm like, oh, bite me. Okay. Yeah. If you're selling properly, you won't have a follow-up list that's more than 2 or 3 clients.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, I used to have like 100 people on a follow-up list.
Right.
And I'm like groveling all day. Hi, it's Tom. I'm just calling to see if you made a decision. Guys, the sale happens in the first 15-minute phone call. That's when the sale happens. Because in that 15 minutes, you're going to figure out what's most important to them because people buy for their reasons, not my reasons. Yeah. Number 2, you're going to talk about what it's going to cost within a range. Don't worry, you're not locking yourself in because step 3 is, hey, if I get out there and I see something that's going to prevent us from doing it on what we agreed upon on the phone, we're going to call a timeout and have a conversation, right? Yeah. So you're not playing some game. Number 4 is the influencers. Who else is excited to do this roof? Or not excited to do this.
Not
roof,
excited.
Right?
No one says,
Who else, hey, you mentioned your wife, Kathy, what's she going to feel about dropping $28,000 on this thing? Okay. That eliminates, I got to talk to my spouse. Sometimes it'd be like, hey, is she in the room? Let's get her on speakerphone. Let's have a conversation. Ask any questions. And then step 5 in our process, we call the BS meter. If you are not good at the other 4 steps in it's called our Shinfu sales process. If you're not good at that, do not do step 5. Because you will suck. All right. It's the BS meter. It's a consultation fee.
Okay.
All right. Most guys think this is about getting paid for estimates. No, it's about weeding out the tire kickers. Because if I tell you, Chris, yeah, we're looking at 22 grand to do this thing. And you go, yeah, great, come on out. And I go, okay, just out of curiosity, what's going to happen when I come out? And if I tell you it's $22,000, what are we going to do next? Well, I'm going to have to get some other bids and blah, 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 and compare them and this. And I'm like, Chris, I get that. I want you to do your due diligence. But here's this crazy thing, man. We have this stupid expensive consultation fee that's $1,000 for me to come out and tell you exactly what I've told you on the phone. So if you're really not ready to move ahead with us, I don't want the $1,000 or the 500 or the 100 or whatever you want to charge. Okay. I know I can solve your problem. I told you where the range is going to fit in. So if you still feel you got to get some other bids, I encourage you to go get those. And if you don't hear what you like and you don't hire somebody, call me back and we'll pick it back up. I just saved myself 3 to 4 hours of my life.
Yeah.
All right. This is how we have people going from 300 grand of revenue to 2.73 million a year in 12 months at a 50% gross profit because they learned to protect their time on that first sales phone call, the pre-qualification.
Love that. Protect your time. Love that.
Happened thousands of times. This is why you don't have time to work on your marketing, work on your business, to know your numbers, because you're so tired from running around performing for everybody. Hey, hire me. Look at me. I'm amazing. Here's the other thing. Customers love it because they don't want to meet with you any more than you want to meet with them if you're not a fit. So when I say to somebody, I've been like, I've sold stuff, before. And again, the goal is not to sell the job over the phone. Yeah. It's to make sure, does it make sense for us to go on a date and meet in person?
Right.
You're swiping the dating app. You're like, oh, she's hot. You start DMing a little and you're like, hey, you're kind of cool. So are you. You want to have a drink? That's what the pre-qual call is basically. Yeah. But I've been like, Chris, people in your situation have spent, upwards of $300,000-$400,000 for a project like this on the high end. And on the low end, depending on some other factors, it could be 150 grand. Which of those conversations should we have? Sometimes they'll go, man, I'm so glad that you shared that with me because we only have a budget of $40,000. So I'm going to have to figure some things out with my wife. And if we really want to do this, maybe we do it in phases. And this is all done with the proper spirit of the conversation. You're not like in their face. You're not like one of those bro culture closer guys. I hate people like that. Yeah. I used to be one when I sold windows, which is why I hate it. And they appreciate it. And many times they'll actually call you back and they'll go a year later, hey, we never did the job, but we're ready to have a conversation again. We've been saving some money. I've had that happen because you were honest with them and you didn't waste their time.
Well, and it's more consultative, right? It's not trying to sell them. You are, but it's, hey, I'm trying to help you here, right? Kind of a thing.
Well, let's go full circle on the marketing thing too, right? Because this is easier when you have leads. One of my former business partners in our programs, and he's former because he's retired, Steve would always say, you need to sell like you're independently wealthy, right? Like you sell like you don't need it. You can only do that, or it's easier to do that when you market like your next meal depends on it.
Yeah.
So when you have the marketing fanatical approach to building your brand, generating the right leads, ideal clients, you got 100 pre-qual calls to make that you've got set up in the month. Okay. I'm not worried about this one right here.
Right.
Obviously I'm going to serve them, but if we're not a fit, we move them on.
Yeah.
Okay. And I go to the next one, and that when you have a lot of leads, which is why you exist, right?
That's right. That's exactly.
Okay? Yeah. When you have a lot of leads, you can sell unafraid, which is, by the way, the title of my book coming out in the fall. But anyway, you need to sell unafraid.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're not everyone's little bitch. And most salespeople in the trades, most contractors, because they're craftsmen first, not business people first. They've put in the reps to know how to nail something, but they haven't put in the reps on their numbers or role plays for sales calls or how to create content, all the different things that it takes to run a successful business. You show up desperate in the sales process and you sound like everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
But when you come in, I promise you guys, you do our shin fu. If you're listening to this, you will, if you like do it to the letter. Okay. None of this, like you want to lose weight, you hire a trainer, do what the trainer says, right? Same concept here.
Yeah.
If you don't, you ain't going to get the results. If you come in and you did that, I promise you, you are going to differentiate yourself in the sales process where people are going to be eating out of your hands and they can't wait to write you a check. Because one of my biggest struggles as a contractor for so many years was, how do I differentiate How do I show that the experience with us is going to be different before we actually get in the home?
Yeah.
Right. You know, like,
you got to differentiate yourself.
Yeah. And that happens obviously in your marketing, your branding, but it's big time in the way that you sell, because when you truly seek to understand their reasons for buying instead of the reasons you think they should buy, and you contract around those things, that's the difference right there that makes them go, you're worth, 50% more than the other bid I got. Because you get me. Right. All humans want to be accepted and understood and all that other shit.
Yeah.
Same thing with your prospects.
They want to know that you care, right? That you actually care about them and their home, and their family. Absolutely.
Well, I had a flooring guy. We were doing something here for my home studio, about 1,000 square feet in our basement a couple of years ago. And I wanted to rip all the carpet out, and I wanted some sort of concrete stain or epoxy. I didn't know what I wanted. I'm not a flooring guy, right? And call this company, sales guy knocks on the door. He's on time. I'm like, okay, we're off to a good start, right? He walks in the door, man. He starts barfing all over us about his kids and their sports travel teams and his hobbies. And he's like trying to build rapport, right?
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm going, I don't give a shit. Okay. And my wife and I are standing there and we're like, finally, after a couple minutes of not really listening, we came down to the basement and I said to him, he goes, what do you want to do here? That was the only question he asked the whole time, by the way. He goes, what do you want to do here? And I said, so I want to rip all the carpet out and I want to do like an epoxy floor. And he goes, no, you don't. No, you want the X5P 3000 floor finish system, blah, blah, blah. And he went on for like 3 to 5 minutes nonstop without taking a breath about all the technical aspects of it and how many hundreds of jobs they do and how many awards they win and all these other things. Listen, it might have been the best product. Yeah. They might have been the best company. They might have all the experience and the social proof and all the things that I want. But here's the key. I told him, and then one point, my wife goes, she's extremely, you think I'm direct, man. She puts me to shame. We call her the queen. The queen goes, hey, what's this going to cost? All right. Now, right there, all you sales guys, listen to this. When you hear that question, if you're not trained, if you're not careful, your negative self-talk will run the show. Oh, they're cheap. They're comparing me to something. No, she had about a $75,000 budget to do shit in the basement, when it included copper bar and granite and paint and other furniture and stuff. She just wanted to know, like, what is she going to have left to work with?
Yeah.
It was just a question. He's like, what? It's expensive. It's going to be, I don't know, 10, 11,000 bucks.
Yeah.
And then I said, well, hey, thanks for the info. We'll get back to you, because that's what we do when we want to lie to a salesperson.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What he didn't understand, and this is key for everybody, had he said, hey, I appreciate you having me out. Talk to me about your plans for the basement.
Yeah.
And just shut his mouth. What he would have heard is that I broadcast to hundreds of thousands of people from this space every month.
Yeah.
That this is my home-based Fight HQ.
Right.
I fly my high-ticket one-on-one clients in here from time to time, and they spend a couple days. They would have heard about the pool table that I envisioned with the cool I-beam legs. They would have heard about the tequila bar that we built. They would have heard about all these other things that mattered to us. And after I barfed all the things that were important to me out, if he would have said, hey, I got a couple different ways that we can make this happen based on just what you want, but one option is this, one is this, where do you want to go with this? Yeah. And what's funny is, on one of our podcast episodes way back then, a few years ago, one of our sales coaches, Derek, actually role played this situation, and I played the customer. And because I was bitching about it on the podcast, he goes, let's role play it. I'll sell you a floor. He's a pond guy. He's not a flooring guy.
Yeah,
dude. But he pulled out so much motive out of me and why it was important that by the time we were done, to me, I thought it was real. Do you know what I mean? Like, Derek is so good at just letting me talk about my dream. People want to dream with you guys. And I know roofs, people don't want to dream, but they have pain and pleasure. Trust me.
Yeah.
I was ready to drop $100,000 with Derek. He was like, well, you said you're doing other things in the basement. What are you doing? And so he bracketed this thing at the end, which is another thing that you can do to get budget 100% of the time. He goes, Tom, this is crazy, but sounds like you're a busy dude. Would it make sense for I mean, what would it look like if I were to handle all this for you? I work the granite, I work the copper company. We do this, we do this, we do this. We take care of the floor, this, that, the other thing. And I go, well, what's that going to cost? He's like, I probably run 100 grand. And I go, all right. And if you don't, what's the floor going to cost? He was like, I don't know, 16 to 18,000 bucks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you'll handle it all? I got to talk to one person.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Right.
Because he got my motive.
Right.
So you got to get motive, you guys. And motive is nothing more than what are Chris's reasons for buying something?
Yeah.
Why do you want the BMW? Why do you want the roof? Why? You might want the roof because you want to sell your house, right? I had to re-roof a house I sold before a few years ago. Now, I knew the roofer, so I just called him. I'm like, hey, Brendan, I need you. He's like, okay. But like, it's like, hey, so talk to me. What's going on here? You know, there's a frustration there. It's a pain in the butt. Hey, how do I make this easy for you, Chris? How you make it easy for me? Handle it and make it go away so I can sell my house and get my equity, right? There's always a deeper reason why people want to buy shit. So
yeah, absolutely love that. Awesome. Well, this has been so great here. And we're going to take a pause real quick right here to listen to our sponsor, roofingsites.com. Since 2018, roofingsites.com has helped roofers double their sales by getting their marketing right using the 4R roofing marketing system. If you're a roofing company owner wanting to grow your business, be sure to go to roofingsites.com and sign up for a roofing marketing strategy session with me. Wow. All right. So you're talking sales, right? But you're talking sales that goes beyond, I think, roofing, contracting, anything. I mean, you're talking, I've been doing sales for the past 20 years in my business. And I know some of this stuff. Do I do this? No.
I mean, I believe if you don't know anything until you do it.
Yeah.
You have the knowledge of it.
Yeah.
But again, I can use this framework to sell a website. I could sell a car. I could sell a roof. I could sell a paint job. I could sell a suit jacket because it's just about being curious, understanding what's important to them. My wife and I got married in 2022. And like I said, blended families. We wanted to get married at one place that was going to be well over 100 grand. Okay. To do it the way we wanted to do it.
Right.
We chose a subpar place down the road for 50 grand roughly because the salesperson sucked.
Oh, geez.
They didn't ask one question. This girl didn't ask a question, and they lost. It was theirs to lose. We came in looking. I had the checkbook. I'm like, let's go. All she had to do was look at the queen and go, Lee, tell me about your wedding day.
Yeah.
Help me see what you see.
Yeah.
And she would have just vomited her vision on her.
Right.
And then all she would have had to say is, hey, we can make that happen for you. Are you ready to take care of it?
Yeah.
And we would have been, because people want to be heard.
Yeah.
They just want to be heard. They want to know that you give a crap. Like you said before, do you care?
Yeah.
Most salespeople are only caring about, they say they care, but they care about their commission because, they don't have enough leads. Or, they think it's about writing proposals.
Yeah.
No, it's about connection. That's your edge. Your edge is in the discipline of creating a connection.
Love that.
So.
Love that. Well, Tom, man, this has been freaking fire, man. I mean, I could sit here and talk for forever, and I know you've got to jump on with your day. So how can the Roofer Growth family get in touch with you and support you, join your programs, learn how to do sales like you're talking, all this kind of stuff?
I appreciate it. The contractorfight.com is the best way. All of our info is there, and they're on Instagram and stuff. Real Tom Reber is my personal, and then we have a business one, the Contractor Fight. But anywhere on social, just plug in Contractor Fight, and we'll be there. And I got something for you guys. Actually, I forgot. I just remembered. If they want to go to the contractorfight.com/cheap, CHEAP, they can get a list of word tracks that can get you started on really peeling back somebody's motive and what's important to them and get you started down that path.
Love that. I'm going to have to go do that myself because I learned a ton here, man. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. I just want to say the big hack with this sales thing, if there's a hack, guys, is just be curious.
Yeah.
If somebody says, the last contractor left a mess, don't be like, oh, we never leave a mess. We Swiffer the floors or clean up the yard or whatever. It's like, mirror that. Left a mess.
Yeah.
And then shut up and they'll fill in the spaces. They'll tell you. Man, what did that do for the vibe around the house, man? And then you'll get to the real issue of what's important to them. It's just curiosity. And instead of trying to one of our other coaches, his name's Tim. Tim famously said in our community like 7 years ago, he says, the dumber I am, the more money I make, right? Being curious. You remember Columbo, right? He was always, he was that detective. He was like, hey, I got this weird question for you.
Yeah.
Like he made no assumptions.
Right.
He didn't try to pretend he was the smartest guy in the room. That's what we're talking about. Just be curious and you guys are going to win. You'll kill it.
Love it. Love it. Well, Tom, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really, really, really appreciate it. This has just been pure fire, dude.
Hey, well, congrats to you. You started the show. You got this thing kicking butt, man. And it's going to be great. You're going to help hundreds of thousands of people over the life of this thing. And I appreciate you doing this.
Thanks.
You got it.
Well, how about that, roofers? Was that pretty freaking awesome or what? There were some valuable hacks that Tom gave to us. I know that I have a full page of notes that I wrote down, and almost all of it was sales related. I just was fascinated with how he talked about getting to why, right? That was kind of that in the last of the episode there where, stop talking about yourself, stop talking in general, be Columbo, right? If for those of y'all that are my age or maybe a little bit older, you might remember Columbo asking those questions and just constantly acting not dumb, but curious, right? And constantly getting to why they want to do whatever they want to do, whether that is ensuring that you pick up all the nails in the yard. Why is that, right? Making sure that you protect their family by getting a new roof over their head. All of these things are going to help you sell more, right? And I 100% agreed with him on all of that. It's just so cool. The other part, and obviously I'm going to say this, is that you've got to fix your marketing, right? And he says this over and over and over. You got to fix your marketing so that you are not dependent on that one lead that just happened to find you and call you, okay? Or that was referred to you, right? To get that sale. You want a steady stream of leads coming into your roofing company so that you can turn that on and off and not have to sell like you actually depend on that roof. Okay. And that just takes all of the pressure off of that sale. So obviously fix your marketing is the biggest thing that you could possibly do. I'm a marketer. You can call us at roofingsites.com. We will go there. We will help you fix your marketing, obviously. Well, that's going to do it for another episode of Roofer Growth Hacks. I hope you enjoyed this episode and that you connect with Tom online. I know that he mentioned that we've got a special deal for you. Just go over there to use the link down below to get to it and make sure that you get your sales fixed, okay? I also hope that you connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram or wherever that we are. We're all over the place. And that you check out our website at roofingsites.com. While you're there, you can listen to other episodes of Roofer Growth Hacks. I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, roofingsites.com. Since 2018, roofingsites.com has helped roofers double their sales by getting their marketing right using my system, the 4R roofing marketing system. If you're a roofing company owner wanting to grow your business, be sure to go to roofingsites.com and sign up for a roofing marketing strategy session with me. Also, this past year, I published my book, The Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Roofers. If you're a roofing company owner and you don't have this book in your hands, I'll send it to you for free. Just go to go.roofingsites.com and I'll send you a free copy of my book. Well, roofers, join us next time when we connect with another great roofing entrepreneur and learn how they hack their growth. Until then, I'm Chris Hunter. Thanks and gig 'em.